guys, Will here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the 2023 Chevy Malibu RS.
And a big thanks to Raul at Furman Chevy in Brandon, Florida for making this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out, and as for Raul.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Malibu has been Chevrolet's mid-size car since 1964. Originally starting off as a rear-wheel drive platform for 4 generations up until 1983, switching over to a front-wheel drive platform after about a 14-year hiatus in 1997. That front-wheel drive platform has survived 5 generations so far. The 9th generation Malibu that you see here was released in 2016, facelifted in 2019, featuring a larger front grille and a new RS trim. This is also the RS trim with a sportier appearance, dual exhaust, 18-inch black accented rims, and a black grille with black badging all throughout this vehicle. For 2023, there are a couple changes for the Malibu, starting with the deletion of the 2-liter turbo, which cranked out about 250 horsepower and was made into a 9-speed automatic transmission. We also lose the Premier trim, which was the trim that was equipped with that powertrain, which is basically replaced with the new 2LT trim, just without the 2-liter turbo and 9-speed automatic transmission. All Malibus for 2023 get a 1.5-liter turbo made into a CVT transmission. We get 4 different trim levels for the 2023 Malibu, starting with the LS, which is pretty decently equipped. We get projector headlamps, push-button start with smart entry, 8-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and Auto One Touch for the down function for all 4 of the windows. The RS trim that you see here starts a tick over $26,000. We get black accents and badges, 18-inch black accented rims, dual exhaust as we mentioned, leather-wrapped steering wheel 2, rear spoiler, 8-way powered driver's seat. You can also upgrade to the LT, which starts at $28,100. We get LED daytime running lights with that trim, heated mirrors, 17-inch rims, lumbar control for the seats, LED taillights, dual zone automatic climate control, and remote start. The new top trim for the 2023 Malibu is the 2LT, starting at $31,500. Now we get 19-inch rims, Chevrolet Infotainment 3 Plus with an HD touchscreen, still wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, 9-speaker Bose sound system, an 8-inch digital gauge cluster, a 120-volt power outlet, wireless charging, memory leather seats, power passenger seat, and an available panoramic moonroof. But again, this is the RS trim with a base price a tick over $26,000. What else we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So up front, after the facelift, the new Malibus get that little cross spoke in between the black grille with the bow tie, and I like the design. In terms of exterior styling, I think this is competitive, if not better looking compared to like the Accord, Camry, the top sellers in this segment. The blue metallic paint color that you see here, I'll leave a link right here, show you exactly what it's called, but it's beautiful in the Florida sun. Hopefully you can pick it up. Projector headlamps, halogen high beam, and a halogen turn signal right outside. We don't get front parking sensing or anything like that for the RS trim. Wouldn't be expected. It's more of an appearance package. And speaking of the appearance package, these 18-inch rims are very nice, and they're wrapped in some pretty beefy Continental Pro Contact all-season tires. They're 245/45 R18s. I'm liking the design. Definitely a thumbs up for the price point. Malibu badge is blacked out for the RS trim. I wish we blacked out the trim outside of the windows too, but it doesn't seem to be a shiny chrome. It's more of an aluminized material, as you guys can pick up. Blacked out B-pillar, smart access for the driver and a front passenger. The mirrors have a 2-tone contrast. They're foldable mirrors with a blue and black contrast. The glass fills up the entire frame. Blind spot monitoring on the glass. The window sticker, we could take a quick look for the 2023 Malibu RS. Riverside blue metallic, 1.5-liter turbo, dual overhead cam 4-cylinder CVT transmission, jet black interior. Standard features, you can pause, take a look at everything that comes standard on a 2023 Malibu RS with a base price of $25,700. The only options we have here on this Malibu is $545 driver confidence package, which gives us rear park assist, rear cross traffic alert, lane change alert with side blind zone alert as well. So after $545 in total options and an $1,100 destination charge, total price sitting a tick over $27,000. Really good value considering the looks, the space, practicality, and the surprisingly sporty performance for this RS trim. Same rear wheel and tire setup. This blue metallic paint color is beautiful in this Florida sun. Out rear, we don't get LED taillights for the RS trim. We get LEDs, full LEDs for the LT trims. Black badging, black bow tie. Shout out Furman Chevy in Brandon, Florida for making this review possible. Full rear parking sensing, dual exhaust tips. And speaking of the exhaust tips, let's take a squat back here, fire up this 1.5-liter turbo, and hear how she sounds. All right, guys, that was the sound of the 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder sold by Chevrolet for the 2023 Malibu RS. It doesn't sound very impressive, but it makes a solid amount of power at 160 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque, enough to get this car to 60 in under 8 seconds. I believe Car and Driver tested it at 7.8, so certainly not the quickest, but under 8 seconds for a daily driver is certainly nothing to complain about. We get the aluminum stick between the two strut towers, should help the handling quite a bit. But speaking of handling, this 4-cylinder sits very far ahead in this engine bay. I wish they kind of pushed it back maybe like 6 to 10 inches, which would help the handling too. But what you see is basically what we get. No hydraulic struts. I'm currently using my arm as a prop rod and it's getting pretty hot. So let's shut this hood right up, take one more step back, get a good look at the front styling one last time. As far as the interior, let's take a step inside of this 2023 Malibu RS and what we get and see what we get with a sub $26,000 mid-size sedan. We get soft touch materials up top. It's just cloth. The materials up here are rubberized hard plastic, aluminum door handle, lock and unlock, auto one touch for the down function for all four. The LT gets auto one touch for the way back up. Power adjustable mirrors with blind spot monitoring on them. Decent little storage pocket. Gushy soft for the armrest. It's still just that cloth material. The Premier, not the Premier, the 2LT and the LT get a leather wrapped area for the armrest, but the lower trims, the LS and the RS, do not. The bottom portion, very solid storage, just hard plastic of course. Decent sized cup holder. I'd expect you to fit a 20-ounce water bottle. 6-speaker sound system. It sounds pretty decent in this 2023 Malibu. The seats are also just cloth, but they're well bolstered, pretty soft and comfortable. We get lumbar control, two-way lumbar control. You can recline, drop, lift, and slide the seats. 8-way power seats for the driver, but they're still manual seats for the passenger. Taking a step inside, we can really check out this 2023 Chevy Malibu. Engine start stop, foot on the brake of course, everything fires right to life. But first thing we notice is the steering wheel. It's very thick actually, solid 10-2 bolstering notch, 9-3 fits great in your hand. Very similar to what you would get from a Camaro, it's just it's not a flat bottom steering wheel. Rubberized Chevy horn area, the horn itself, very aggressive sounding horn. People should definitely be getting out of your way. Cruise control settings on the left side, forward collision alerts, part of our driver assistance package. Same with the lane keep assist on the right side. Voice commands, you can answer and hang up your phone calls, and this adjusts your little infotainment cluster. Right now we're looking at our fuel range, average vehicle speed, timer, a digital speedo, trip information for the trip A, trip B, and right back where we started. Vehicle, you can see the remaining oil life, air filter life, oil pressure, tire pressure, following distance for the adaptive cruise control, battery voltage. That's nice, so you'll get a little heads up before your battery dies. Coolant temperature units and our speed warning. Eco, you can see our fuel economy and eco index, which was my personal favorite to look at all times, so we'll leave it right there. On the left side, the tach goes to about 6,500 RPM, which is pretty high revving for a turbocharged engine, so I'm pretty sure it's going to shift closer to around 6, maybe even before 6. Fuel gauge up top with the coolant temperature as well. On the right side, 140 miles an hour for the speedometer. To the left of the steering wheel, we have our lighting for the interior and exterior, auto headlamps. That's an appreciated feature. Auto high beams too. On the right side, no rain sensing wipers, of course, wouldn't be expected for a low RS trim, but the intermittent stock is right here in the center. Dashboard is a rubberized material, but it's hard touch, as you guys can hear. The touchscreen is an 8-inch. It's not the HD touchscreen, but it's still a beautiful touchscreen, better than what I would get in my Camaro. Apple CarPlay, wireless Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. We don't get GPS or navigation, but you can mirror your phone to the screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The settings you can see basically the same out of the Camaro, very similar between all Chevrolet vehicles. You can turn off Android Auto or Apple CarPlay for one reason or another. In the vehicle settings, you can see everything that's available. My personal favorite would just be looking at the home screen. Not a whole lot going on. Shortcuts beneath that, skip, volume back, auto start stop you can disable, which is nice. I read on the Car and Driver website that you can't disable the auto start stop, but on this Malibu 2023 Malibu you actually can. Hazards next to it, no automatic climate control in the RS. LT gets dual zone automatic climate, but the RS does not. Not a big deal for me because I personally use manual climate even in vehicles with automatic climate, so yeah, not a big deal for me. Beneath that, decent little storage pocket. You can turn off your parking sensors for one reason or another, and you can turn off your traction control right behind it. You get a padded shifter. It's not leather wrapped, but it's padded. RS, it says RS underneath it. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera. Nice. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, and the low gear. So we get the old school Prindle, electronic parking brake, no auto hold. At least not that I can see. It may have auto hold just automatically. And we get two pretty large size cup holders. I'd expect you to fit 16, possibly 20 ounce water bottles, and a pass-through, good spot for a phone. Behind that, additional little storage pocket, good for coins, good for your key. Padded, it seems like a faux leather material for the armrest, very well padded, 10 times softer than my Camaro. The space, a trillion times larger than my Camaro. You'll fit maybe a 2-liter bottle of soda. If not, you'll fit at least 5 or 6 20, 24 ounce water bottles. Very solid size. We don't have USB or USB-C port back there, but very decent in terms of overall size. The glove box, we can check it out. It is damped, not lined with felt, but it's pretty large. It's wide. It's not the deepest. I'd expect you to fit a pair of shoes, but I wouldn't expect you to fit any license plates. More of that padded cloth material right up top. The rear view mirror is not frameless or auto dimming, but the frame isn't too large and you can dim it simply by pulling this flappy thing back and forth. The interior lights are LED, OnStar, SOS, all the safety features. We don't get the panoramic moonroof like you get from the 2LT. It doesn't come standard on the 2LT, but it is an available feature there, not here. That's about it for the front seat though. Pretty impressive for a sub $26,000 midsize sedan. The most important part of a midsize sedan, the reason you go midsize over the compact, is the rear seat space. And speaking of that, let's check it out. So before we check out the space, which as you can see is pretty impressive, we still get that soft touch material up top. It's cloth, but it's still nice to have padded materials for the top part of the door panel if you want to have your arm out the window. It's not rubberized for the hard plastic like it was up front. Still get an aluminum door handle, auto one touch for the down function. You could check it out if the windows weren't locked, and it's very well padded still for the armrest. Storage is massive. You're fitting footlongs, you'll fit, I don't know how you would fit it, but it does seem to be a little cutout for like a 16-ounce water bottle. I personally wouldn't trust it, but it is there. Additional one of your 6 speakers for the sound system. The seats, the padding goes all the way out to the door frame, so very couch-like, decent little bolstering for a back seat. We'll unbuckle it real quick. I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, sitting behind my seat settings, and I still have plenty of space. It's not quite as spacious as like a new Accord or Camry, but it's right up there. You have about 5-6 inches of overall knee room, plenty of room for your feet. Headroom, I have at least 2, maybe 3 inches. What I don't like is that we don't have air vents back here. The air vents up front don't do a terrible job of reaching me, but it would be nice to get air vents standard on a 2023 Malibu. Down below, we get a 12-volt outlet. That's nice. We get a map pocket behind the passenger seat, nothing behind the driver. The center cubby does not exist. The rear seats do fold down 60-40 split, which is nice if you want to put some larger objects in the trunk, but we don't have a little armrest cubby back here. The interior light back here, you also can't turn on, only controlled up front or when we open up the door. Yep, and it's not LED, does not appear to be LED, but the ones up front are. That's about it for the back seat though. Let's check out the cargo space real quick and then take this car out for a drive. Again, we get that rear spoiler as part of the RS package too. Underneath the Chevrolet bow tie, you can press the button which opens up your trunk. We don't get any cutouts for the hinges. As you see, you pack it up any higher than that level, expect your cargo to be crushed, but the wheel well cutouts are massive. I'd expect you to fit a golf bag horizontally, catcher's bag horizontally. We get secret storage too. It's not easy to access and it's not very spacious because the spare tire is back there. You can fit some secret stuff outside of it. Massive trunk. The cutout for the rear seats is also super large. You fold those rear seats down 60-40 split. I'd expect you to fit a 60, maybe 65-inch TV back here. It's just really large for a mid-size sedan. Larger opening compared to Camry and Accord, and it's a deep trunk. I'm not even remotely close to reaching the end of the rear seats. You fold the rear seats down with those 2 latches, but that's about it. We can shut this trunk right up. I'm liking the spoiler. This Riverside Blue Metallic is beautiful. It's not the sunniest day right now. The clouds have covered up the sun, but the blue metallic still looks really impressive. That's about it though for the inside and outside of this 2023 Chevy Malibu RS. Let's take it out for a drive. All right guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the 2023 Chevy Malibu RS. Let's take it out for a drive. And the first thing I notice, just like most of the other vehicles from GM, the steering feels good. It doesn't feel anywhere near as good as like a Camaro, but for a mid-size sedan, it feels surprisingly sharp. It's not heavy by any means, but it does have a little bit of weight to it. So compared to some of the modern electric steering racks that literally feel like a video game controller, this feels like the wheels are nice, planted, and connected to the road. The 245 wide tires probably help, but it is feeling very nice. The throttle response is also good with this 1.5 liter turbo. Even before the turbo spools up, you have a decent amount of throttle response. Like right here, it doesn't feel like it's underpowered. Lean into about 1/3 of the way. Okay,
We hold about 3,500 RPM. We don't have a sport mode or anything in this car, so the steering weight is the steering weight. There's no adjustments for it. We do get a low gear and some manual shift controls for the low gear, but I don't believe the manual shifts work in regular drive. Yeah, they do not. But in low gear, you do get manual shifts. Through the turn, yeah, the steering feels a little numb, but ride quality is fantastic. These 45 series sidewalls on these pretty expensive Continental Pro Contact tires. I was not expecting to see Pro Contact tires in a car in this price point. As soon as that up, looks like he's letting us pass. Okay, so massive bumps. It stays unbelievably composed. I've driven trucks that don't feel this composed through these massive, massive bumps. Throwing the car in, body roll, you feel a little bit of body roll, but compared to like an Accord or a Camry, it feels also about the same. We'll come to a complete stop, try out a little acceleration off the line, see what this thing's got. Okay, off the line, on the gas, and there we go. Okay, we shift around 5,500 RPM, I knew it. So we have a 6,500 RPM red line, but the Turbo 4 kind of falls on its face after about 5,000. It picks up strong after about 2. Huge bumps. Doesn't matter because the ride quality is fantastic. I was not expecting this thing to ride as smoothly as it does. And throwing it in way quicker than we should. The body roll actually did not even exist there. Wow. Good handling, good ride quality too. I love it when a car can have both good handling and good ride quality. Of course, this isn't a track car, but for the street, the overall stability is impressive. It's only front wheel drive. It's not available in all wheel drive, but with only 184 pound-feet of torque, it's probably pretty tough to get these wheels to spin anyway. All right, guys, taking a step out into this multiple lane highway, we can lean into it. Ooh. Yeah. Definitely gets to highway speeds. I wouldn't necessarily say it gets there very quickly, but compared to a 2.5 liter Camry, a 1.5 liter Accord, this certainly isn't any slower. And on the highway, it is quiet at highway speeds. We'll check the windows real quick. We don't get dual panes. I didn't think we did. And again, they're not auto one touch on the way back up, but it is really quiet. The road noise just about doesn't exist. The steering feels so sharp. The car feels playful on center too. I'm impressed with this 2023 Malibu RS. This feels sportier than the Camry, way sportier than the Camry. And it feels quieter than the Camry too. The Camry is also one of the only cars in the segment left that doesn't have a CVT transmission or a turbocharged engine. So if that's the kind of guy you are, you want the naturally aspirated 4-cylinder and conventional automatic, definitely check out the Camry. But I haven't seen a Camry in a long time that didn't have at least a $4,000 to $5,000 markup. These Malibus, even in the current market, I've seen them sell below MSRP, and I cannot say that about any Accord. I can't say that about any Camry. So if you want to save a few $1,000s in this market, you're really not compromising anything outside of the material. So the dashboard is hard plastic, the door panel has cloth on it, whereas the Camry has full soft touch materials, and the same thing with the Accord. But the overall features are still basically the exact same. We have lane departure warning, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring. It's not standard, but after a $500 option, they're all equipped. I personally prefer the way the Malibu looks. I prefer the ride quality in the Malibu. I don't really like the powertrain. The 1.5 liter turbo made it to a CVT, but compared to most of its competition, that seems to be where they are at as well outside of the Camry. So if you're looking to save a couple $1,000, you need the space, you need the features, but you just don't really care about the best quality of the interior materials, I would definitely recommend checking out the 2023 Chevy Malibu RS. And big thanks to Raul at Furman Chevy in Brandon, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Raul. And huge thanks to all of you for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you guys, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out, the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.